So good evening, and welcome to the Civilian Complaint Review Board's October 2019 meeting. I am Fred Davey, and I am the chair of the CCRB. And I'd like to thank everyone for joining us this afternoon. My apologies again for the late start. But as I said, we had a couple of our board members, including our newest member, downstairs trying to get through the security without IDs. So before I get started, I would like to welcome today, it's a great privilege and pleasure to do so, our newest mayoral designee to the board, Corinne Irish. In her full-time capacity, Corinne is an attorney with the global law firm Swire Patton Boggs. And outside of that, she's demonstrated an impressive commitment to using her legal expertise to advance social justice. I think I can speak for the whole board in saying that we're glad to have Corinne here. We look forward to working with her to advance the betterment of police community relations in New York City. And before we go any further, I'm going to ask her if she would like to say a few words.
Hi everyone, I just want to say that I'm happy to be here and to be of service to the city. I am a native New Yorker. My family goes back 3 generations here, and criminal justice is very important to me, as well as police accountability and making sure we have good, healthy relationships between the community and the police, New York City Police Department.
Thank you, and we're really glad that you're in our midst, and we look forward to working with you. So welcome. So before I go any further, I'd like to ask the rest of the board members if they would introduce themselves. So why don't I start to my far right, Mr. Carcaterra.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sal Carcaterra, and I'm a police commissioner representative on the board.
Good afternoon, my name is Ramon Peguero. I am the City Council designee for the Borough of Queens.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Erica Bond, and I'm the mayoral designee.
I'm Jonathan Darsh. I'm the executive director of the agency. Good afternoon.
John Siegel. Good afternoon. I'm another of the mayoral designees, and glad that we're joined by one more.
Thank you all. Our executive director, Mr. Darsh, is going to have a few things to say about how important it is for all of us to vote on Election Day. But as chair, I'd like to make it clear that if we're concerned enough about police accountability, then it's evident by the fact that we're all here today. And in that regard, it's imperative, actually absolutely imperative, that we vote, those of us who can, on Tuesday, and that we encourage our family and friends to do the same thing. In just a few weeks, New Yorkers will have the power to dictate the future of civilian oversight of police, and it's critical that we all exercise that power. In other words, vote. Secondly, if you're concerned about police accountability enough, it means you're here, and that's the reason you're here. So you should also be aware that the New York State Senate will hold hearings on Civil Rights Law Section 50A, commonly known as 50A, next Thursday here in New York City. As many of you know, 50A is the law that prohibits the CCRB from sharing information about officers' disciplinary records with the public. I look forward to actually testifying on this matter, a significant issue for this agency, before the Senate next Thursday. And I encourage you to speak with our Director of Outreach and Intergovernmental Affairs, Yahira Alvarez, who is right here, if you would like more information about those hearings. Last but certainly not least, we have some very special guests with us today, and I'd like to acknowledge their presence. Around this time last year, the CCRB began accepting applications for the inaugural class of the Youth Advisory Council. I don't think anyone knew at the time exactly what to expect, but we ask for three basic things from the applicants. One, that you be between the ages of 10 and 24, two, that you reside in one of the 5 boroughs, and three, be willing to commit to the work of improving police-community relations in our city. On that last piece, the members of the Youth Advisory Council have blown us all away with your work and your commitment. What this group has been able to achieve in planning the CCRB's first ever youth summit is nothing short of amazing. I'm not alone in believing, and still months later, in being, these months later, thoroughly impressed with the work that you did in putting that exceptional event together. So as we join you today on your graduation day, for your hard work, your leadership, and for your commitment to the cause of civilian oversight of police, I want to thank you, the young leaders who've given so much of yourselves to improve police-community relations in this city. We hope it won't stop with your graduation, but that as you move on and grow, that this will stay with you, and that you will maintain this commitment both to the city and to improving how communities interact with police officers specifically, and the police department more generally here in this city. We want to hear from you, and I understand one among you has been designated to speak, and that is Ali Springer Elkerson, who is a member of the Youth Advisory Council, and you have some words of reflection that you will give us as we say goodbye to you, and I guess welcome a new class. So, Ali.
Hello everyone, my name is Ali. I am 12 years old, I'm in the 8th grade, and I attend the Fellowship of Learning School in Harvard. I was a little nervous to speak today, but I was also excited because this program means a lot to me. I applied to join the Youth Advisory Council for the CCRB after hearing about it from my mother. She told my school about a youth summit that would be important to community relationships with the police department. When I was selected, I was 11 years old. I was also excited and I didn't know what to expect. We met on Saturdays during the year and talked about many things and different ways to improve the way police officers police our community. I learned about other kids in New York City and how they are affected by police. I learned about metal detectors in schools, how that is another form of policing, and how it affects the way children feel about going to school. I learned about children being stopped on the street in different neighborhoods and how you have rights that police are not supposed to violate. I also learned that my voice matters. The Youth Summit was a great chance to allow children to have a day off of school where they could discuss how they see the world and how they want to change in the way they are treated. I would encourage other children to apply to the program. It will give them a chance to meet people their age who believe in the community service and justice. It will give them a chance to voice their opinion. The CCRB really believes in what the youth have to say and are considering our fears and ideas. I even applied this year and I hope to be selected. I think last year the Youth Council was just getting started and that it can only get better. I believe the Youth Advisory Council will continue to make a huge difference in the way our communities trust and depend on the police department. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to run for mayor. If I'm living, sign me up when you're ready. Thank you, and thanks to all of you who are part of this class and the inaugural class of the Youth Advisory Council. We're going to start taking applications for 2020 right now. The application portal is open, and we invite young New Yorkers between the ages of 10 and 24 to apply online by visiting nyc.gov/CCRB Youth Council, nyc.gov/CCRB Youth Council. Also, if you'd like more information, we have a font of it sitting right here in our Alvarez that we introduced earlier. And we want to thank her for her hard work generally here at the CCRB, but in particular for helping organize and shepherd this council along with other of your colleagues here at the CCRB, so thank you. Go ahead, tell us.
I just wanted to thank Harriet as well for being such a great.
She's over here. She's over here. Thank you, as always. It's really appreciated. So congratulations again, and the dialogue between the agency and young people will continue. As I said, we hope it doesn't stop here. We look forward to your contributions for many years to come. Now I want to turn things over to our Executive Director, Jonathan Tosh.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to welcome all of you here today, especially the members of the Youth Advisory Council. I remember when I went to the symposium, and I first walked in, I was just impressed at the turnout, which the work you did to get the hundreds of people who came to the symposium was impressive enough. But then the content it's very tough to describe, to have how the level of seriousness and engagement from young people. And maybe it's a reflection on me that I didn't expect it, maybe I should have expected it. But I was gobsmacked. It was a great program. And the best thing about it is that our policy unit is taking what we learned from the symposium and is going to use it as part of the report. And so the work that you did putting that together isn't just ending with the people who went to the symposium. It's going to inform the work that this agency does going forward, and hopefully that the city does going forward. So thank you all. This is the last meeting before the November 5th election, and I want to take this opportunity to remind everyone that the voter registration deadline is tomorrow. There are many significant charter revisions on the ballot this November, and it's important for all of us to be involved in this process. Specifically with regard to the CCRB, there are provisions that would change the makeup and appointment process for the board, require the police commissioner to provide detailed explanations to the CCRB when the level of discipline imposed on a member of service is different from what the board recommends. It would allow the CCRB to investigate potentially false official statements made by an officer it is investigating and to recommend discipline if it's appropriate. It will set a minimum budget for the agency, and it will allow the board to designate to the executive director the power to issue subpoenas. Whether or not these changes go into effect depends on this election. So each and every one of us has the power to affect that outcome by registering to vote and showing up to vote. And I'm urging all of you to make sure you're registered and know where your polling place is. And I think there's actually early voting for this, so it's
October 26th.
so if you could, it's a new process. So there's, like, if you're used to the same old way of voting, you should still double check, make sure you're registered, make sure your election day polling place is where you expect it to be, but also find out where your early polling place is, because it's possible to vote early. Just to go over a few ground rules for public comment, if you have a specific incident that you're concerned about, please address it with investigators who are present here tonight after the meeting is concluded, or you can actually go flag them down if you want to talk to them now. Emily and Olga, are you guys here? Oh, right in the back. And so if you guys have something you want to talk about with them, they can answer your questions. And if you could all limit your comments to 4 minutes today to make sure that everyone has a chance to speak. And thank you again for coming to the meeting today.
Thank you, Mr. Darsh. Thank you, John. On those ground rules, there is a clock here, and we will keep time. I'd also say just on the voting and the early voting, I actually was able to find a portal. If you just Google early voting NYC, and then you can key in your home address, and they'll tell you where your early voting site is. So we really encourage it. We've been joined by another board member since we started the meeting. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joseph Puma. I'm the Manhattan City Council designee, and it's just great to see a packed room, and I wanted to congratulate the Youth Advisory Council members for all of their work on the symposium and outside of the symposium.
Thank you. I know that we have no new business. I haven't been informed of any. Neither have I been informed of any old business. So we're going to move directly to public comment. I have two names here, and then we'll open it up for anybody who didn't get a chance to register. So Jordan Wook.
Good afternoon. Jordan Woke, he and him. That wasn't quite fair putting me up after Ally. It was a very nice speech. Two general comments. First, on a positive note. As most of you know, hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers were concerned about the failure to discipline Officer Pantaleo. Once the issue was raised on the presidential candidate debate, the number must have gone into the millions. People are aware of the decision by Judge Maldonado to find Officer Pantaleo guilty, and many were pleased with the disciplinary actions taken by the police commissioner. In all the coverage I saw and read, I do not recall any mention that it was the CCRB that obtained the conviction. I have reason to believe that many CCRB staff put in tremendous numbers of hours, a major team effort. If more people knew that, then they would thank you. I thank you. The chair has expressed a desire to make CCRB a household name in 5 years. There is a question on the upcoming ballot related to the CCRB. If voters could connect the ballot question with the fact that it was the CCRB, not the federal government, not the state government, which obtained the conviction of Officer Pantaleo, I think would make the public appreciate the CCRB's contribution to our city. Maybe outreach can use the CCRB's role in this matter to help explain the value of the CCRB. One message to get out might be, CCRB obtained the conviction of Officer Pantaleo. I plan to make this point at the upcoming meeting of my community board, where I will urge support of the CCRB ballot question. Finally, I bring to the board's attention the recent rash of suicides by members of service. I feel for their families and fellow officers, and as a concerned citizen, I am greatly disturbed by the losses. One suicide this year was Deputy Chief Stephen Silks, who gave 38 years of service. Given how long the board's police commissioner designee served, I assume that one or more of you know or knew Deputy Chief Silks and maybe other victims. I am sorry for all your losses.
Thank you. Let me just say that we have acknowledged the staff for the hard work that they did on the case involving Officer Pantaleo. We will acknowledge them again. There was some mention of the CCRB in at least one of those articles and its role. But clearly, we have a long way to go to make CCRB a household name that people know of and use as soon as quickly as possible, sooner than 5 years. But we do appreciate the staff and the professionalism that the staff exhibits every day in doing its work on behalf of the people of New York City, often without very much praise or recognition for that, yet they do it just the same, so I think. I also would like to not only acknowledge the pain that the suicides of officers cause many of us, but also acknowledge the recent death of Officer Mulkey. And I offered my condolences to the commissioner and the officer's family. I did that in private. I will now do it publicly and extend, I think I can say on behalf of this board, our condolences for the very tragic death of that officer. So thank you. We'll now hear from Derek Harris. He left. Any other public comments? Any other business to come before this board? Yes. We did not approve the minutes. Thank you, Mr. Pagano. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as we have.
So motion.
Thank you. Is there a second? Aye. The minutes have been, it has been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes. Are there any changes, modifications, revisions? Hearing none, all those in favor of the minutes as we have them, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. The chair will entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session.
So moved.
Is there a second? We have a motion to adjourn to executive session. It has been seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Ayes have it. We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Thanks again, young people. We're so glad you're here.
That's it.